Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to another pre-market pulse scan. Today is Monday, January the 9th, 2017, and we kick off the first full week of trading in the new year. And with it, we have a special announcement. This, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the biggest announcement I have ever done on this YouTube channel. This is unprecedented. This is a first. You are now witnessing a first. Those of you who are new to the whole trading Wall Street thing, this is amazing for you. This is your beginning. Forget if you weren't here 17 years ago, 20 years ago. Doesn't matter if you missed the bull market of the 90s, if you were just born or you were a kid or whatever. This is your beginning. Today, I am elated, happy to announce that we are at day one, which coincides on the first trading day, the first full trading week of the new year. We are at Nasdaq 100, 5,000. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Nasdaq 100 has finally broke 5,000. It has not been here in 17 years, since the Nasdaq bubble burst of 2000. It has never, ever reached these highs ever again since then until now. The Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, they've all hit new contract highs and everything, but the Nasdaq 100 futures never did until now. This is unprecedented. This is a red alert alarm. And the reason why I'm excited about it is because of what it means. Either we're about to witness, this is day one, the first day of the biggest, baddest, most extraordinary bull market in human history, or we're about to witness a market crash of historical proportions, things that will be written about in decades to come. So we're at an incredible crossroads right now, where either this bull, it's either or. It's one extreme or the other. There's no middle road here. It's either going to, this is the beginning of the most extraordinary bull market you have ever seen or even imagined, or a market correction that will take your breath away. There's no other way to say it. This Nasdaq 100 historic happening today of hitting 5,000 can be called by some a double top. Double tops are incredible chart patterns that signal a market crash, especially if they're not able to sustain that. So the market has to make 5,000, the Nasdaq 100 has to make 5,000 its new floor. Just like the Dow did many thousands of points ago when it made Dow 10,000 the new floor, Dow 12,000 the new floor. Okay? So those were major milestones in the Dow. Dow 10,000, Dow 12,000. All right? Now that that's the floor, here we are at Nasdaq 100, 5,000. 5,000. So if all things being equal, we should see Nasdaq 10,000 because the Dow has doubled. It went from Dow 10,000 to Dow 20,000. So all things being equal, the Nasdaq 100 needs to go from 5,000 to 10,000. All right. So this is an amazing day. Very amazing day. I cannot stress how important today is. This is something else. Has the stock indexes around the world waited for the Nasdaq 100 to catch up so that they could really blast off to the moon? Are we looking at a return of the go-go 90s where all you needed were a pair of monkeys and a Wall Street Journal, and whatever stock they pointed to on the stock page, that's what you bought, and you would make money? It was like throwing darts at a board. Wherever the dart landed on, that's what you traded for the day, and you made money. It didn't matter what account size you had, because there's no pattern day trade rule. You could open up a stock trading account with $500 and do 1,000 round turns in a day if you wanted to. There was no restrictions. It was the wild, wild west. Everyone, it seemed, was becoming millionaires overnight. Stocks were moving in patterns that were unprecedented. Stocks would move thousands of percents a day. Just ridiculous momentum and volatility. The average daily trading range in the Nasdaq 100 futures was 200 points. The average daily range in the Dow futures was 600 points. And that was daily. That was an everyday occurrence. The roller coaster was amazing. The volatility was off the charts. Fortunes were being made daily. Are we about to see a return of that? Is this going to be peace and prosperity under a Trump presidency? Well, you know what they say about that. When they say peace, whoa, it's followed by the word whoa. So, we are living in very interesting times. We do not know what is going to come, but we know where we are. And where we are is a major crossroads. Let's jump into some pre-market PulseScan to give you an idea of what's about to take place. Looking at your weekly sheet, you have the following rally alerts. Lean hogs, that's the futures. The Australian dollar, forex. Natural gas. You have FAS, the financial sector. You have the Japanese yen space. Facebook, FedEx. Copper, which is the COPX, COPX. Uranium, the URA that everyone's been watching and so gaga over. Cocoa futures, coffee futures. Oh, the global water ETF, PIO, the SVXY. Crude oil space, which is under ticker symbol DIG. The Ultra Shares Russell, the UWM. The Nasdaq 100, TQQQ. And of course, uranium resources, URRE. All of these have rally alerts for the week. So they are on notice, on alert for rallies. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. If FAS has a rally alert, which covers the financial sector, no real true market, bull market in the stock market can be official without a rally in the financial sector as well. Therefore, if FAS rally alert takes place, this gives further credence to the overall market rally. All right, so these are things that need to be watched for the week on the rally alert side. This is going to be extraordinary. That's all I got to say. Now, let's look at some of the crash alerts for the week. Are you ready for this one? Hold on to your seats. We have crash alerts in Bitcoin. It's already crashed from its highs, but we have a crash alert, a bona fide crash alert that we cannot ignore. So it looks like further pullback may be coming in Bitcoin. We could have a pullback all the way back down to the $500 handle. That would be more than a 50% retracement from its highs. That would be nasty. So red alert in the Bitcoin. We have live cattle futures. We have crash alert in NAC. I didn't even want to say that out of my mouth. Ticker symbol NAK. But you know my rule about $5 stocks. So take that as you will. Also, we have a crash alert in the dollar space. Okay, the US dollar space under ticker symbol USDU. We have a crash alert under the bond market side of things, ticker symbol TYD. We have a crash alert in FAZ, FAZ, which means that gives further credence to the rally alert in FAS. All right, on the long side of things. We have a crash alert in Apple. We have a crash alert in feeder cattle futures, and we have a crash alert in lean hogs. Lean hogs has both a rally and crash alert, so that's going to be a very interesting one to watch. And we have a crash alert under UCO. So we have something in the crude oil space with a crash alert, so that's going to be interesting. And so we're going to have to really look at those. That's going to be interesting on the weekly side of things, okay? All right, overnight numbers so far. Dow futures down 46 points at 19,851. We hit an overnight high of 19,922. Overnight low 19,850. The Nasdaq 100 futures is up 2 points at 5,006. Overnight high 5,017. The low is 5,002 and a half. The Emini S&P 500 futures is down 3 points at 2268 half. The high was 2275 and a quarter. The low was 2267 and 3/4. Russell is down 3.5 at 1361.6. The high was 1367. The low was 1360.1. Excuse me. The Nikkei futures is down 85 at last trade is 19,550. Overnight high was 19,745. The low was 19,545. And crude oil futures down $1.10 at $52.90. The high was $53.82.5. The low was $52.82.5. So we have approximately a $1 trading range in crude oil. Let's see, the U.S. dollar index down, up about 4 ticks at 102.25 half. The high was 102.49. The low 102.12. The euro is up 5 pips at 105.66. The low was 105.85, and the high was 105.85. The low was 105.40. Your British pound is taking a pounding down 133 pips. Last trade is 121.60. Overnight high was 122.86, and the low 121.41. Your Australian dollar is up 35 pips at 73.28. That is the overnight high as well. The overnight low is 72.82. Gold is up $8 at 1181.40. The high is 1182. The low 1172.20. And silver up 9 cents at $16.61, just off the high of $16.63, and the low was $16.45. So as you can see, markets are moving in the pre-market. Let's take a look on the daily side, what we can expect under the rally alerts. I gave you the weekly, what to watch for the week. Now we're going to look at what may be brewing for us on the daily side, on the daily sheet. All right. Excuse me. On the daily side, we have the treasuries. We have TYD with a rally alert. Bitcoin on the daily has a rally alert, so probably going to try to bounce a little bit before that weekly crash alert comes into play. Looking at DGLD, So it's looking at a possible pullback coming in the gold space. Let's see. Yeah, so all the DZZZ, DGLD, let's see, TMV and TYO. So mixed signals here on the bonds because the inverse ETFs have the rally alert. So this is going to be interesting. So it's calling for a pullback in the bonds, looks like. Looking at a rally alert in China. On China's inverse ETF, Yang, ticker symbol YANG. Dust has a rally alert. GLL has a rally alert. TBT has a rally alert. Let's see here. Silver, the inverse silver, DSLV, has a rally alert. The ultra short euro and the ultra short silver, ZSL, have rally alerts. So looks like the system is calling for pullbacks possibly coming or getting ready to manifest in the gold side of things and silver side of things and bonds. So it's looking at gold, silver, and bonds and the US dollar on the weekly. So this is interesting. So the daily chart is saying bonds, gold, and silver possibly shorting. In other words, possibly looking for a fall in that. So this is going to be an interesting day to watch and see what happens. Because if bonds are going to pull back, that means that the pullback we see right now in the Dow and the S&P and Russell and Nikkei side of things is going to be short-lived, because you can't have bonds falling in the Dow too. One has to be up. They're supposed to be non-correlated, or at least closely possibly to being non-correlated as there is. Usually when money's coming out of equities, it's going into the bond markets, it's going into safe havens. So this is a very, very interesting development for the day. We do have we have some secondary rally alerts in the dollar index, the Japanese yen. So the dollar and the yen side of things have secondary rally alerts. That's your 411. So it's saying that any pullback that we have seen thus far is oversold and that the market may be poised to move higher from here. Excuse me. So interesting. So systems looking for a pullback in gold and silver and bonds, but rallies in the dollar and the yen space. Very interesting. All right, let's see here on our crash alert daily. We have too many to name. I literally have too many to name on the crash alert side on the daily chart. It's saying everything is crashing. JNUG and Nugget have crash alerts. Wow. AG has a crash alert. So pretty much the mining shares in the gold and silver space, the system is looking for a pullback. Future side of things too. Hold on, let me go to another. Let's go to the futures tab just for a second here, because I want to look at those crash alerts. There's so many of them. All right. Wow. Yep. On the future side, gold has a crash alert. 10-year notes, cocoa, corn, wheat, copper, coffee. Did I say cotton? Sugar, oats, and wheat. They all have crash alerts. Every single last one of them have. So pretty much all commodities have crash alerts for the day. Just about. The only ones that don't have crash alerts are the ones I didn't mention. We only have 2 rally alerts on the futures, and that's in the natural gas space. So the natural gas has rally alerts. Wow. There's a lot of bearishness in the market pent up in the algorithms today, folks. So trade with caution here. Let's just look at the forex side of things just real quick. I only have 1 rally alert, and that's in the Russian ruble. I have secondary rally alerts in the British pound, the W.A.N, and the yen. We already know that the pound is getting pounded. So let's see here. I'm sorry, it's not the British pound, it's the pound yen. I'm sorry, it's the pound yen. The pound yen has that rally alert. I misread that. Yeah, so that's the pound yen with the secondary rally alert. All right, on the swing trade side of things, we have the Australian dollar, which I mentioned before, the dollar yen. Um, I'm sorry, the Australian dollar, Japanese yen cross, and the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar cross. Euro, gold spot, palladium, and platinum all have swing trade uh, alerts. So those would be buys from that perspective. And that, let's see, crash alert side, we have New Zealand dollar, British pound, the dollar yen, Australian dollar, euro, gold spot, platinum, and silver. So it's just bearishness everywhere. Everywhere I'm turning today, it's looking like the sell side of things. Absolutely unbelievable. So definitely trade with caution today. It's Mondays. Mondays couldn't, tend to be quiet days, but not looking like it today. And if you look under the mining tab, just about every miner on there has a crash alert. So please trade with caution. And remember, I'm going to try to schedule a seminar for this week. It'll probably be Thursday or Friday. We're going to do a webinar in the Trading Academy. So more information will be forthcoming on that. So remember, if you're not already a subscriber to the weekly Pulse Wave price triggers, go ahead and go to pulsewavetrading.com, get yourself set up so that you can attend this academy, which is free for premium subscribers. And the rest of you, remember, bulls make money, bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back.